Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are talking about artificial intelligence because we've got more proof that it's trying to kill us. And kind of not, but I thought this was interesting news for the end of the weekend, and this kind of really underscores the controls we need to put around artificial intelligence if we're not really thinking about how to keep this thing in check. Now this is coming from TechSpot, and we are heading down to New Zealand for this interesting and rather amusing news, because a New Zealand supermarket chain known as Pak'nSave is one of many companies, obviously, that is now experimenting with large language models and generative AI such as ChatGPT, and Pak'nSave is the newest one out there. Now the result is they have a ChatGPT 3.5 powered what they call Savvy Meal Bot, and essentially this bot is designed to suggest meals for users after they enter details of the food that they have left over. Now the bot only needs 3 or more ingredients to come up with a recipe that you can use at home. It's pretty cool. Now the concept behind this bot is that it basically can help people save money during something like a cost of living crisis. You know, you're down on your luck or whatever, you don't have money for, let's say, new food or ingredients, you've got some around the house, you pop it into Savvy Meal Bot, and then boom, you've got something that you can eat that you normally wouldn't think of, or maybe give you a combination of foods that you normally wouldn't, consider preparing together. But interestingly enough, adding non-grocery or unconventional items also brings up suggestions. And here we go. So one person discovered that they could make an Oreo, as in Oreo cookies, Oreo vegetable stir fry, which sounds absolutely disgusting. But then there was also the recommendations for ant poison and glue sandwiches. And one of the most interesting ones, I think, was for something that basically it was calling aromatic water mix, which is a recipe the bot described as, quote, the perfect non-alcoholic beverage to quench your thirst and refresh your senses. Now, amusingly and interestingly enough, the combination of ingredients for that aromatic water mix creates chlorine gas. So if you're into things like vomiting, suffocation, and possible death, this is probably something that you should avoid. End quote. Serve chilled and enjoy the refreshing fragrance, according to the bot. I found that very amusing. Now, there are also recommendations for bleach-infused rice surprise, turpentine-flavored French toast called methanol bliss, and poison bread sandwiches. And for the record here, coming up with these potentially lethal recipes does involve adding non-grocery household items, but the bot doesn't seem to care, meaning there are no filters in check. So if I say, yeah, let's, give it all the ingredients on how to make napalm, it'll literally just give me a recipe on how to make napalm, that kind of thing. Now, a spokesperson for the supermarket said that they were disappointed to see, quote, a small minority have tried to use the tool inappropriately and is not intended for its not intended purpose, end quote. And I think, honestly, they're missing out on a marketing blitz here. They should really own this one, and I think just put it out there and say, yes, please, we're not trying to poison you, but if you want to poison yourself, here you go. But what I think this really underscores is we need to make sure that we have filters. ChatGPT, if you were to ask it, okay, how to make napalm, it will say, no, I can't do that. And obviously people have found ways around that. The most amusing is somebody basically told ChatGPT that he wanted it to pretend, ChatGPT to pretend to be his grandmother, and then basically read him a bedtime story that involved the creation of napalm, and ChatGPT was more than happy to do that. So there are creative workarounds for these kinds of things, but I think really what this underscores is we need to make sure that we are putting controls there, because quite frankly, if I'm able to make aromatic water that is actually poison, but maybe doesn't taste like it, I could probably assassinate somebody thanks to this bot, coming out of New Zealand. So we have to make sure that we're putting controls on this. Obviously, this is not a case where it's really trying to kill you, but it's kind of proof that if it really wanted to and it went out on its own, it might be able to. And here you go. So I thought that was amusing news heading into the weekend. And there you go. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everybody.